Hello everybody, my name is Gettykiju and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we, Wait. When was the last time? What, Edgar Griffin, how long was it since the last time we did a video on this? That's a little bit too long. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. The video series kind of got a little away from me. I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, last time we decided to help out with a new client after entering London, and we were able to work our way to the point where we not only tipped the scales of justice to where the trial could continue and we overturned a guilty verdict, for at least for now, but we also proved the possibility of there being an additional party in the van where our client was accused of killing someone. So now we're gonna go ahead and figure out what's going on. I believe last time we got cut off by some sort of gas explosion or some kind of smoke bomb going off in the courtroom, so I don't know what to expect going into this right away. So let's find out. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Well, that was quick. Mr. Zato, I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? That was his name. My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here in the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. Ugh, she's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed to the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Mr. Zato. Yes! There's the young girl next to Miss McGilded. Look! She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier. It seemed to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such a pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
Ahem, if I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded?
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs the information or anything.
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct?
'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. You seem awfully cool right now, Vince Eeks. Is there something that you know about this? Alright, let's go ahead and press on each statement and see what we get.
Hold it!
And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board?
There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one in the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is.
Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat?
By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Hold it!
A loud thud, you say, and a scream?
Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise.
So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed?
Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me, I opened my eyes. There wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor.
You didn't see anyone? But at the same moment, you did hear a scream. Ah, from the seats above you in the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. Hold it!
You set him up? The victim, you mean?
That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
No, that's desecration of a corpse. Sort of. I find that a little hard to believe.
Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. Now why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of the London society, that is. Oh, come on. That's just harsh.
Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble.
Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there?
Heavens alive, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and whereofs first.
The whys and whereofs? Or wherefores, I guess.
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't you, good self, do just the same?
Yes. Scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing.
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except for yourself and the victim.
So I did, sir. So I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse a vulgar expression, under me backside.
Huh? Good gracious! Under your backside?
And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee chubby hole there for storage.
Or cubby hole. I say chubby hole.
So not though, we examined the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Yes, of course. The whole bus is submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside.
That's when I found her. Hold it!
You say she was hiding herself?
Hi, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in my chest.
You're really overacting this.
Still in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chingwag with her.
The seat opposite?
That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fella's voice this time.
Presumably, that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats.
Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, you must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with a knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage, out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
After that, of course, with a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and put up the horses.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord.
Okay.
She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses.
So she's a thief.
What's commonly called a pickpocket.
That works too. What? This girl here? A petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Whoa! Whoa! How dare you! What is the meaning of this? Oh, she just ran out. Ah! The girl! She's gone! Open your eyes. Oh. I'm over here. Good gracious! How? What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lots are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught in the job. She's got herself back to a corner, so she niffed the gent. Or knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it? No, not at all. It's just a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast... What the heck? Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do are these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. Oh, this? Yeah, this was in the bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheeled drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best. Ugh! Do not wave that thing in my direction again! So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus the night in question?
Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now.
Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was right a waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then, after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did. And a scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. Eh, Dippy helped me get away, mind. Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact.
How?
As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat that night.
And the cubbyhole of which you've spoken is underneath this seat, I presume? Yes. It does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature.
Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Ugh!
So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question.
Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking the punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass.
My goodness!
What a perfect gentleman.
My lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this! I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Boom! Progress made effortlessly. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Wait, doesn't that mean everyone is voting innocent now? Yeah, so what happens now? Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their learning to a leaning on the verdict of not guilty? Mr. Naruhodo, this, well, it must mean what? That we're victorious! We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Look at this man! What a strut! If the sight of my iron here of Wellington offends Bray, do forgive the discourtesy. That is some JoJo energy right there. That is sick. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices, where evidence and reasoning should be paramount. Emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly be effected, counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy.
Sorry?
Go ahead, you tell the court now, fella. How this is an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? Court record. I'm gonna just check this real quick. Let's open the door and go inside, shall we? And just be like, you wanna know what I thought about the omnibus when I examined it? Let me just check it one more time. See, it's a handle, it seems. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. I don't know. Just gonna make sure I examine everything in here. It's blood soaked to the seat, the victim's obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab somebody in full view of another passengers like that, I wonder? Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. That's blood, isn't it? Something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, blood stains so obvious, that's all. And yet, Van Tingson made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Have you seen enough? Let's sit back outside then. Hey! I just realized it reads Phoenix Wright Omnibus! Okay, they know what they're doing. Oh, that's a cool little detail. That's so cute. What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the omnibus? I mean, it was empty. Yes, I'm fairly sure it was empty. If I'm honest, my memory about all this is a little hazy. As I suspected. It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate has the scruples of a by-street wine merchant. Is this another racist? Mr. Naruhodo?
Perfect! 'Tis why the fellow's representing me after all. He knows just what to say, does he not? Well now, it would seem the argument is moot. And the truth of the matter is there for you to see, after all. That their cubby hole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is.
That we can be sure of at least. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. Ah! I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick. Of course it's a trick. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time is a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. What the girl saw. Ah, we got that Allegra picking up now.
Hold it!
So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob, eh? That's the rum idea, ain't it? I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl's a petty thief, kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, that does clear up a little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers of 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free.
The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before its last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment, full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. Where'd you put that? No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own and the God permit at least some time. I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit? Oh yeah, well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on my seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the closed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister?
To be sure, to be sure. I was shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift a cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do ya?
So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all?
Not a jot.
Most days I push the cushion up and with me in and look out the crack.
Then I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle.
I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher.
I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason, that night, Mr. Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head.
And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Upson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to stick it out under there. Nothing else for it.
Hold it!
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling on the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let us scream involuntarily? That's right. And then I felt a cushion over me and get light all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim. Yes? Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. Whoa, wait, what? I pushed up the cushion and as quick as the butchers while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up at the bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. Gilda's account, of course. But then, the fellow suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I slumped back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking.
Hold it!
And when Mr. McGill discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down in the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. Ugh, how awful. Both my hands got covered in blood. Made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you taught Mr. McGilded for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to that and that. Then I heard something up there. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the oars were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury have decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Hold it! Well, no.
There we go. Like, why did this pop up earlier? Excuse me!
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded?
Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel?
I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking of something to yourself.
Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was.
I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now.
Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well.
Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe. Miss Lestrade! Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Be chibbers! There's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp! What a pity. If only Mrs. Strayed had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? Okay, well, I would hope it's profoundly important, because otherwise this is a waste of time. My lord! I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Council. Nevertheless, seriously, stop with the racisms. You people are very unironically racist. It's upsetting. Ms. Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know not what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. I strained my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring. Hold it! So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry. Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But when I saw the swell getting on, it got me eared down so I wouldn't notice. And Mr. McGill is sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah! Would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug! So then, all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though we've stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to I'm driving his pigs to market, sort of like the old doggy was. Is there any conclusion we can draw from that, I wonder? It actually doesn't add up. There is one thing, because if she said she never heard the door open, when did the victim come in? Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Ah! At odds? Are you sure, ma'am? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. Thank you? So Van Zieks realized it too. Counsel! I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGillicud's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think! There's something else she should have heard. Show a person, I would think. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound was very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Mason, right?
Take that!
Thrice fired Mason? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel! Mrs. Strayed, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilded.
That it was, not a soul in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least, not in plain sight.
So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time.
Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And, from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't it? Waiting for this swell to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Ah! We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Mrs. Straight's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Ah! Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zeeks! Yes, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Mrs. Straight's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl is a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. Okay, that's not good. Ugh, she didn't even say anything. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars. And neither can I. Mr. Foreman! I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some God, I hate English. Less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. Ugh! Mr. Nanhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning toward guilty! Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. Ah! Gah! What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, useless Eastern Abaddon? Abaddon? God, I hate English. This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Nahodo, the way this is going... I know. We can't find some new way to convince everyone Mr. Gilda's innocence. The judge will rule and will have lost. I very much wanted to believe that the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen. But those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.